It's like I'm hiding. It's like I'm hiding. Always hiding, so that they can't see you. 100% camouflage, so they can't see you. Always hiding, so you can't see it. With a dark and stormy night, okay? Okay, it was. We were trying to get it down. We were trying to write it down so that we remembered the secret passages, okay? We tried to write it down so that we remember the secret passages. We're at a cabin. Okay, there was a fire and wood, marshmallows, okay? But the marshmallows weren't part of it. They were from a separate party. Little marshmallow people. And we said, you better get out of here, marshmallow people, or else you're gonna get s'mored. Okay? We needed to get it down. We needed to get the information down. Okay, we needed to get it down. Can you see me? Dark and stormy night. Okay? There was a trail going off into the forest. Okay? And we knew not to go down it, but we did anyway. That feeling that you're just not supposed to go down the forest trail, but you do it anyway. I don't like that feeling. I did it anyway. You're into the forest, and it's moon, so it's silver, and you can see. And there's slugs. Why are there slugs? It's so wet and damp. There's slugs, okay? There's slugs in the forest. Is the forest full of slugs, and they're dropping from the trees? I don't like it, okay? There's a forest of slugs that I'm dropping from the trees, and I don't like it. I'm with my friends, and we have a cabin. The s'more people, we shunned them to the other cabin. There was multiple cabins. It was supposed to be a romantic getaway for happy couples, okay? We were having some problems, so we thought that maybe we could go and rekindle some of that romantic sexual energy. Okay? And I guess the marshmallow people feel that they needed it too. Okay, maybe they were getting hard. Or I mean not hard. I guess as you get older, marshmallow, you get hard. It's supposed to be some kind of joke. They were in their cabins. Okay? They were there. There were slugs in the forest. Silvery moon and slugs. But there was something calling to us, like a siren song. And it was calling our names. How could it call our names when it was calling with one voice, but both of us thought it was calling to ourselves? So we were hearing things differently. It knew what we wanted from the inside. What are you going to do when something like that wants to grab a hold of you? Okay? You're just a little piece of meat. What you got to do is you got to remember your silver thread, but then by remembering your silver thread, it's almost like playing it to its hands. I don't know. It wanted us. It wanted us. And so I said to the thing with the slugs dropping from it, I said, do you need to rekindle some of that romantic sexual energy of your honeymoon? And it said, what? And I said, yeah, Being part of physical existence means that sometimes you fall in love. And you need to make sure you work at that relationship by rekindling that magical romantic sexual energy. And it said, well, I've never had a partner. I've just kind of split from myself. And then I said, well, where's the split? And it said, what do you mean? And I said, you split from yourself. Okay, so where's the split? Where's the other part? And it said, it's those marshmallows. Those little marshmallows. Those white little globs. And I said, that's not much of a split. Are you going to commit to splitting yourself? At least you should split it half. At least you should split it half. Okay? Little marshmallow people, that's just like taking a trim off the edges. That's what that is. That's not committing to the deal if you're going to split from yourself. Split in half. Just do it, man. And then split in half again. And then again, I don't know what that makes. 4, 8? I don't know cubes. So you never really were serious about it. And now you're searching for something else. Well, tell me this, okay? What makes you think that I'm going to let you do that? Take me over. Take over my feelings, okay? My meat. And he said, well, I'm more powerful than you, so I can just do what I want. And I said, well, you have a point. You are more powerful than me. And so I was consumed by the slug thing. The end. That's not a happy ending. And then so it said, well, I can do what I want. I'm more powerful than you. And I said, yes, you are more powerful than me. But you have also made the fatal mistake of taking material existence. And it's a trap. It's a trap, man. And you fell for it, okay? You saw all this stuff down here and you thought it was worth having. And let me tell you, there's some things that are pretty good. But it'll keep you locked down here, and now you're locked out here with the rest of us. Yeah, what do you think of that? Oh, and let's say you take us all over. So you're king of a bunch of schlubs. Good job. Then it thought about it, and it took me over, and the slug thing took me over. That's not a good ending either. Ugh. Slugs. It's like I needed some salt. A great salt wave came. No. The siren. No. The sirens came from. Oh. The sirens came from the sea. I knew those sirens well. But the thing didn't know the sirens, and it was just used to like having its own existence, its own material existence, and the sirens started speaking to it like it spoke to me. And I knew to cover my ears, to remain camouflaged as long as I could. And the thing consumed itself. And it left me into the forest, and the siren looked at me. And it must have been full of beef, because it winked. And then it fluttered through the veils. Okay? It fluttered through the veils. Sirens and fairies and veils. Okay, like I've been there, man. Okay, wizards, snails, magic snails. So that's my horror story of the day. The magic snails, the fairies, the wizards, the sirens, the orcs, the goblins, of which I am one. Okay. Trolls, okay. Mummies. Vampires, werewolves, okay. They're all there. Robots. Like magic robots, okay. Golems. Gargoyles. The thing with the eye and just the teeth. Tentacle man, okay. They're all there. The discombobulator. We just call him Bob. Okay? All those horrible, horrible things, they're people too. Okay? Frankenstein, okay? Made that guy who knew a lot of poetry and was really good at racing sled dogs. Okay? He really loved the Arctic, which is just ice. I guess he must have settled on Baffin Island or something like that. Maybe Greenland. Nook. The old Viking settlements. Perhaps he took one of those. That monster did it. Snakes, serpents, basilisk, balrogs, goats, corncobs, they're all terrible creatures in their own way. They're all terrible creatures in their own way. Solving a mystery, okay? There was left nothing but a shoe A single shoe. With the foot in it. Did you hear about those? That's still happening. Where are those feet coming from? The feet in the shoes just washing up on shore like that. The plastic golem of six-pack rings and garbage bags filled with anemones and what's the stuff that grows that's green on the top? Yeah, algae. The algae, okay, gains intelligence and sentience. And the plastic beast rises from the waves and says, "What the hell is this? I am going home from whence I was spawned." And it goes to the Coca-Cola company. And the Coca-Cola company is like, "Holy cow. This isn't our fault, man." And it said, "Yeah, well, what's this and this?" And it was a 1 million Coca-Cola caps times 1,000. You know how many Coca-Cola caps that is? That's more Coca-Cola caps than we have brain neurons in our brain cells, in our neurons in our brains. And the Coca-Cola company never won for refusing an opportunity to turn something into a commodity. Signed a deal with the thing. Became its new spokesman. His spokesman. Spokes thing. I said, "Try spicy Coke." Okay? It's jalap plus raspberry. It was good enough for me to rise out of the ocean and walk over to Atlanta, Georgia. I should have gone through the Panama Canal instead of overland and scaring all those people. But too late now, I guess. A multi-million-dollar contract with Netflix. My story as the plastic golem of the Pacific Ocean. Look at all the life forms that I help spawn and nurture. They live on me, okay? They're all like one-celled life forms, but they're still life. Coke is it. As that is ascended from a rocket. They put it on a rocket, and you could hear it say out the window of the rocket, "Coke is Earth." Oh, that sounds like he's falling. Yes, because the only way they could get rid of it is to burn it in the lava of the below firmament. The temperament, the temporal, the temper, what's the layer underneath the crust? Thermal, crust, thermal, temporal, temporal. What is it called? The mantle. I knew it had a T in it. Horror stories. The horror. You must hide, okay? Camouflage. Camouflage, you gotta hide. Ouch. It had me up against a wall, okay? A group of people, they're like, "You don't belong here." And I said, "Well, what would it take? $5 to belong here?" And it raised its little arms. Its little T-Rex arms. And I said, "I do that too sometimes when I'm thinking, as my arms go all T-Rexy." And it said, "Are you making fun of me?" I said, "No, I'm telling you like one of my truths, man." Okay? And they all said, "Well, we don't like the way you look here and you're talking a bunch of weird stuff." I said, "Okay." I could see how that would be disconcerting. Because it's not things you normally think about. Sirens and goblins and slug creatures. Massive slug titans. I guess you don't think about stuff like that. I talk about a lot of other stuff too that's good. Well, that's not bad in itself, but anyway, I'm trying to sell myself to this group. Okay? This roving group of T-Rex armed individuals. They don't have to have their hands that way, they choose to. Or maybe it's a reflex. Maybe it's a reflex, keeping your arms close and your enemies closer. The horror. Getting a book published won't be easy. A horror author. I've definitely got the look for it. Can't you see? Horror author. Horror! Scariness is going to sell to people. Okay? But that's not why I'm doing it. It's a balance. So anyway, this group of T-Rex armed individuals had me backed up against the Tim Hortons, the back of the garbage can. That greasy one. Where the grease traps, they empty out the grease traps. Okay? They empty out the grease traps, and then my back was against it, and it smelled like old fries. Which isn't fair, because Tim Hortons doesn't even serve fries. Okay? I don't think if you made a bunch of Dutchies, it would smell like that. But they don't make the Dutchies there anyway. They truck them in. Frozen. That'd be a magical place to go to, huh? Like the Tim Hortons castle where they make all the Dutchies. Anyway, this group of, Tim Hortons, no! Tyrannosaurus Rex, T-Rex arms. I'm backed up against a brick wall, okay? And it's like, you gotta stop talking your weird stuff, and it doesn't matter what you say now. They're gonna hurt you. So how do you get out of it? You don't want to start saying, hey, well, I won't talk weird stuff anymore, because then they're just gonna keep making demands and demands on you until it's impossible to live like that. I guess you just have to accept that it might not be your day. They might indeed tear you apart limb from limb. And I can only hope that on some level there's a doctor who knows how to put bodies together. I'll live in the Arctic. Okay, there's a lot to like about those old Viking settlements. It's a simple life. Building machines, okay, harvesting what crops you can, counting your lichen, petting moss, caretaking of moss, going and looking at the peat. Okay, there's lots to do on Greenland. There are a number of things to do in Greenland. So perhaps someone put me together. Indeed, like Frankenstein's beast. And I develop a penchant for poetry. I tried to come up with an album. Because some of you like my singing, I thought maybe I could do an album. But I only know Christmas songs. At Hotel California. And some Peter Cetera. I don't know if that's enough for an album. Well, now that I say it out loud, it sounds like it could be enough for an album. I'd love to get into a studio with you. So call me at 555-666-7788. Okay? We'll get some studio time. Get some session musicians where they're like, what the hell am I doing here, man? And I'll be like, well, it's money. Okay? You can take it. And they'll be like, this is wild. But I've been on novelty albums before, and it's a paycheck, dude. And I say, amen to that. There's something exciting about that idea. I can't get out of this T-Rex. Did they tear me apart? And I was built back together again? So they tore me apart and just left the body parts? They didn't even bury the body parts? I guess most of my personality survived because of the metal plate surrounding it. Okay, so that's a horror story. I get torn apart by an angry mob of T-Rex arms. I get put back together, and I... See, I wouldn't be mad. That other Frankenstein's beast was mad. It's like, why have you created me? Well, why do we do anything? Okay, sure, you must have responsibility for your creation. You can't just make, like, a Santa Claus and then abandon it the rest of the year. Like, how do you think he feels? Okay? Because that thing now has physical form and existence. You only really care about it in November. Unless you're creating a Christmas album, which you usually would do, in the spring or summer. So I guess there's some Santa can sit in on the tapings of Christmas albums, and they must do Christmas ordering in the summer. So you know what? Actually, Santa's got it pretty good. Okay, because technically people only are supposed to think about Santa from November to December 27th. But really, he's around a lot. For taping of the Christmas specials, the Christmas albums, the Christmas inventory, a lot of that stuff. So I guess we are taking care of him. Okay, so Frankenstein didn't take care of his monster. Okay. From that, we learned that he should have taped Frankenstein specials in the summer. There should be Frankenstein monster carols. Okay. You get a present from the Frankenstein monster. Okay, in the stocking. You get a foot in a shoe from the Frankenstein monster. It's going to have to be like a fake foot. Frankenstein monster carols, Frankenstein monster specials. You receive a gift of from Frankenstein monster, made of parts of other gifts. Yes, they take apart gifts from the previous years and piece them together to give you Frankenstein versions of gifts. I kind of like that. Okay, so maybe we could change the story on this guy, make him a little less lonely, and hopefully, though, he doesn't lose his love of poetry, because I do find that quite endearing. Something I always wanted to do, but I work in a library, and I still refuse to go over into the poetry section. I don't see a lot of people. It's mostly at night putting away books. Who's going to hire a big old guy like this? I tried working in the kids section once. Eventually, like, the little girls and stuff will get... they'll start feeling sorry for me because I make myself small, and I run away. And then they start, like, holding my hand and showing me stuff, like pulling me through the kids section, showing me the different parts. So I know I'm not a monster. I got the feelings of the soul because it's coming out through the green parts. And that's validating. It's always validating when small children aren't afraid of you. So we've learned a lot about writing horror stories today. In today's Silverhead Writing Circle, giving you the power to take this, what's in here, okay, put it through your hands, into your fingertips, okay? Or through your mouth and into this microphone, but more into your fingertips, okay? Put it into a book. There are over 1,000 books here where I am, containing the knowledge of everything, everywhere, okay? From all at once. They've got the secrets. You just got to find time to read them. Get off at tweets. I got to get off at tweets and read the books and take notes, for God's sake, because I don't remember everything. So I was ripped apart and put back together by a kindly doctor. Well, I'd like to thank him. I hope he's on Facebook. Feels pretty good. Horror. Stay tuned for more terrible horror stories. I mean, horror stories. They're good horror stories, okay, but they make you feel terrible. That's not what you would want. Okay, I'm trying to describe to you a horror, like put an adjective in front of horror story to make it appear even more special than it is. But I guess horror story does the job already. So stay tuned for more horror story as we delve deep into our shadow selves, okay? So that we may plummet. We may plumb our shadow selves, okay, for that power we need, okay, to survive and to take care of each other. Seems, what's the word? Discongruous. Anti-ethident. No. Antitoxidant. No. It seems anti-ethical. No. The thing where one thing means the opposite. No, that's not even what it means. Anti-delusional. Anti-instinctual? Anti-instinctual. That's the closest I'm going to get. To use your shadow selves, okay, as a force for making the world a better place, but they're there, okay? And you got to use it, okay? Not impose it, okay, but use it. Strengthen yourself. Okay, you could do it. I could do it. You could do it. We could do it.